When at college or university, do you have to give up living a healthy lifestyle and eat ramen noodles every day for 4 years?
Hello,
Kindred Longevity Lifestyle Designers. This is Zach here with SecretSelfLongevity.com. The question today is that someone was asking me about how to sort of live a healthy lifestyle when in college. Now, there's a wide variety of things that are obviously free that one can do, such as just exercising on one's own time without any equipment. There's plenty of information on bodyweight exercises on the internet. I've got a video here of a workout I did that you can check out if you want to sort of see some of the types of exercises I've been doing. And yeah, you should be able to exercise 4, 5, 6 days a week at least without equipment and be able to get full body workouts in. So that's going to be number one. If you're not getting the absolute best food into you at any time, there's no excuse not to be exercising. It's something you just have to put your mind to and make a habit of doing it at the same time every day, ideally in the morning. I've been in the habit of doing it at night in the past, but I've found that when that happens, it's easier to make excuses and skip it. You know, you're not feeling 100% energetic at the end of the day. Perhaps you've had a busy day, perhaps you've got a lot happening, and you end up making excuses basically. So unless it works for you, I always recommend first thing in the morning as part of a morning routine. And yeah, then obviously when it comes to sleep, a lot of university students, college students, they have a lot of time crunches going on, but it's of utmost importance that you get as much sleep as possible. And obviously the best thing to do that is to avoid stimulants during the day. So if you're healthy to begin with going into college and university, you shouldn't be needing these pick-me-ups to sit through class. Looking back on my schooling during elementary school and high school, I can think back to the times when I was healthiest at those times, as healthy as I could have been at the time. And I clearly remember friends starting to drink coffee or a lot of tea or even soft drinks that had a lot of caffeine in them. And I just never actually gravitated to that, and I never found I needed that. Even though I was very tired after my lunches because I would eat way too much food at lunch that I'd be so tired for the rest of the day, and it would be bad combinations of stuff that would be causing all sorts of indigestion. But on the whole, I was a lot more energized and present during that time because I wasn't relying on the stimulants that would wreak havoc on the whole health system, not just the energy levels, but you know, when you get into digestive problems, that's going to be related to excess stimulant use. And you just simply need to rely on your own energy reserve. So if that's the fact that you are having problems with that, I'd consider investing whatever money you put towards coffee, and it might not be much if you're just getting the cheapest brands of coffee, but try putting that towards a cheap, some sort of adaptogenic herbal supplement, whether it's probably one of the better things would be holy basil, and that will bring down the stress levels, especially associated with school. And drink this instead of green tea. So 3 herbs you could use, you could rotate through them, you could use them all at the same time, or you could use them individually, that are going to be best for dealing with the stress of school and also bringing down those the sort of the impact that a very busy, stressful lifestyle would have, which would be during schooling, to help you sleep better and to help you focus better. I'm going to name 3 things here: holy basil, gynostemma tea, and gotu kola tea. You could do all of these 3 as one sort of mixture that you could buy 1-pound bags of each, mix them all together, and have like a tablespoon or 2 of that, and simmer it for 5 minutes tops on the stove, or even just pour boiling water over it. It's probably a little better to simmer it for a bit, a very short period of time. Or you can create an infusion, which is where you pour boiling water over it, but you cover it very well. Even if your teapot has a spout, you cover that with tinfoil or something so that it stays hot for longer. And it's a very strong extraction. So those are 3 adaptogenic herbs, tonic herbs, that will help greatly with stress levels, sleeping better, bringing down the cortisol, and all sorts of things. So you can find links to those below. You can rotate through them, use them individually, like I said, and they're probably some of the best supplements you could use that are very affordable. Those are literally, shouldn't be much more than $11 a pound, maybe going up to $15 depending on the source, but Mountain Reserves with the links below is one of the best places to get those. If you happen to still have trouble sleeping, you need to consider many things like getting rid of Wi-Fi disruption, so Wi-Fi, cell phones, basically any sort of electromagnetic pollution. If you're sleeping really close to plugs right by your head, you might want to move the position of your bed. And if you're in a dorm, this gets harder, but obviously perhaps you might be the type of person that needs to have a room of their own. They can't have a roommate sleeping in the same room. Making sure you're in complete darkness, getting rid of electronics that have flashing lights or red lights on them out of your bedroom. Putting up a black material over the window that you can take off during the day, and that helps eliminate street light, car light, headlights, and those types of things. That's going to really enhance your sleeping patterns. And then, so if that takes care of sleep, exercise, you're going to be wanting to look at food. Obviously, college students, university students need to limit, or have a budget, and they're going to be limiting the amount that they spend on food. And sort of the typical college student is going to be putting their money into craft dinner, probably rice and really cheap stuff. But when you look at the overall output of things they spend on, you could probably take the same overall budget, and if you were health conscious and you didn't want to buy several pints of beer per week, put that money towards food, then you're going to be much better suited for coming out of the whole schooling period without having prematurely aged to some degree. So, like I've mentioned in past videos, my whole program that I recommend for people is to go on a lower carbohydrate diet, and to do this you're going to be consuming animal foods, and to get cheap animal foods you want to be looking at buying direct from the farmer if you can. Sometimes there's farmers that do their own butchering, and if you can find a grass-fed animal foods farmer and be able to get that, or pasture-raised, that's going to be the ideal situation. But compared obviously to the factory farm meats, they are more expensive, but you can have ways of circumventing those things to get at the cheaper cuts, the higher quality, yet cheaper if they're bought in bulk types of deals. So 3 great things to get if you can't afford the grass-fed beef is lamb, mutton, or goat. These are all grass-fed ruminants, which are the best types of meats to be able to eat, as opposed to eating too much chicken or too much fish. It's great to eat a bit of everything, but if you're focusing too much on the foods that aren't eating grass, you're going to start, aside from fish, you're going to start getting an excess of omega-6s in your body. You're going to need to rectify that balance through fish oils or some other source of omega-3s. So that's when you're eating too much pork or too much chicken. Even when those things are pasture-raised, because they do still need to consume some grain feed, even when they're considered pasture-raised, unfortunately. So if you're consuming, like those things, goat, sheep, mutton, they're eating grass, they're going to have a similar lipid profile to beef, and obviously it's going to be a cheaper product because the demand is a lot less for that. Lamb can get expensive, especially if it's from New Zealand, but certain cuts like the lamb shanks, which need a long cooking time, and it's a way to get more bang for your buck. And another great investment for cooking is a sort of a slow cooker. So that's a great place to do the lamb shanks because they need at least an hour of cooking, ideally maybe 3 or 4. You can leave them in all day to simmer. And you can also make bone broth in that. That's another great way to get nutrition into you that's very cheap. You gotta go for the organ meats as well, grass-fed organ meats. And you can find some of these things, not the crock pot, but lamb, bone for bone broth, organ meats at the link below at US Wellness Meats. And of course, if you can find some pasture-raised chicken eggs, I pay $4 a dozen, which in Canada is very cheap. I've talked with some people in the US and they would think that's expensive, but it's all, I guess, depending on location and your income. But if you can find cheaper, that's great. But you want to make sure you're getting organic, at least organic standards. They don't have to be certified organic, and that they're pasture-raised chickens if you're consuming those eggs. Obviously, fruits and vegetables, you can get them at farmers markets for cheaper usually than grocery store. So just be conscientious of buying in season and locally, and you're going to be getting much better deals on produce and food in general than if you were to be buying a lot of packaged foods, etc. So yes, you can save money just eating ramen noodles for 4 years, but that's not going to be ideal in terms of health nor taste, and just putting a little bit of conscious effort into designing a lifestyle that is more natural while in this sort of unnatural environment is going to help you both in the schooling and your grades, and also in the end product where you come out of school and where you're going to be going with life. You want to be in a good position to still be vital after such a grueling time. So with that, check those links below. If you're going to ask some questions, definitely keep them on the topic of longevity. I'm not going to be answering questions to specific health acute issues that you can see a practitioner for. And you can always get in touch with me if you want to set up a phone consultation if you do have health issues that you'd like to discuss with me, get my feedback on. And with that, take care and embrace life without limits.